Hey everyone, welcome back to another demo file. So today's demo file is a star rating scoreboard. So this is inspired by online retailers such as Amazon.com, where you purchase products and then you receive them and then you want to leave a review about that product. So here we have a bunch of sample data, so 102 5-star ratings, 87 4-star ratings, and so on. So let's go ahead and load it. So you can see here we have 591 reviews with an average rating of 2.92, so roughly 3. So you can see we have 3 stars lit up. And then we have down here a graphical representation of how all the different scores stack up. So you can see this has by far more 3 stars than any others. So we can change that. So you can see as I'm selecting the up arrow, it's increasing it 10 each time. So that way you can see it kind of jump up as I'm selecting it. You can see the star rating went up, so it was at 3, now it's at 3.5. So that's the average based on so many reviews. So maybe get some more 4 stars in there. I can also say, oh, we got a bunch of 1-star reviews. What's that look like? So here you can see it went down to 1.19. You can see about 1.25 is lit up, and so you can see the chart also reflects that. So we'll just return that back to normal. So yeah, so now you probably want to see how all this works. Okay, so there we go. We're going to start with the universal script that adjusts these values in all these number fields. So you can see as I was toggling up and down, I was jumping 10 at a time. It's done with this script. We use a JSON parameter for the buttons, and we can see here we have a field name, and then we enter in the name of our field. We reference it indirectly, so if the name of the field or table changed, it's going to keep up with that. So that's why we're using the get field name function. For the adjustment, we can use 1 if we want the up button to go up just 1 integer. In this case I did 10, so that could be 1, 10, 25, doesn't matter. You change that to whatever you want. If you want to use a down arrow, then you'd make this a negative number, so you just add a little negative. In my case I did -10 for the down buttons. And then you have your minimum number and your maximum number, so that way you can make it so it can't go below 0, or it can't go below the maximum number of digits it'll fit in the field. So that's what I did in this case. I have 99,999. And then so here for the script, to call this load rating scoreboard script, that's script number 9. So obviously I had a few other scripts in here. So yeah, we're using the script ID instead of the script name because the script name doesn't automatically adjust. If you change the name of the script, you don't want everything to break. So that's why we're using the script ID instead of the script name. And then we're using this function get ID. Get ID is our custom function, and then we have our script number, our script ID, and then we're using S to signify script. There's also some other options in there for table ID, valueless ID, field ID, so on. So that's how that works. And then I'm using my JSON get elements as variables function, and then we're using that to extract all the variables, getting the field name, getting our adjustment, our max number, minimum number. So all of that math is done right here, and then it sets the field. I refresh this window to show the updates, and then performs the script. So next we go to our script. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. So this feature is based on this website here. So if you go to that, you're going to see something that looks a lot like this. I did make a number of modifications. One of the most important ones being is that my version uses SVGs instead of the Font Awesome collection. So Font Awesome there's a URL that downloads their whole icon collection. Really, we just want to use these 4, so I created some SVGs and integrated that into the solution. So couple reasons I did it this way is one, it's going to load a little faster. It's a lot less code to load. It doesn't have to download anything. Because it doesn't have to download anything, you can use this offline on a tablet. You don't have to have an internet connection, and this will still work. So it's all self-contained. All right, so another thing we can do here is we can adjust these colors. So say I don't like this green in the first spot, maybe I want something different. Go into here. Said this window is always better to edit things in. So we're just gonna try blue and say okay, and save that, run it, and then we get blue. Say maybe we don't want to use a named color, maybe we want an RGB value. Again, always go to this, it's much better. So I'm just going to throw an RGB value in there and fix the quotes. Okay, so just kind of demonstrate an RGB value in there. Let's go ahead and save and run that, and there you go. So yeah, you can use anything you can use in HTML, you can use right here. So you can easily adjust any of these colors for any of the bars right there. So this is where it's trying to calculate all the values, all of your percentages, your 3.6 here, the 9051. It's doing all the math right here. It's loading the SVGs. Include these icons. So I'm including these icons into my code, and then it puts those all in my SVG definition section. So there's a substitution that replaces the SVGs with that variable. So that's how that works. And moving on here. So build the HTML. So here we have a bunch of lines. So we have a star, we have an empty star, and then all of our partial stars. And then it just does some math here to figure out which one of these lines to add in which order. Once it loads all the stars into it, then we have our CSS and our HTML, and then we have our substitute, which looks for anything in our HTML code with asterisks around it, and swaps out CSS with the variables and the definitions for the SVGs. So that's pretty much it for the code. And then it just loads it into the web.scoreboard object. So anytime I use a web viewer, I start it with web dot and then my description for that web viewer, what its purpose is, essentially. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. You can add that to any solution. Hope you liked it. Thanks.